Or the other option is to form your own militia. Totally lawful. And the militia takes the copy of the true bill of indictment and goes to the person who's supposed to be arrested and said, here's the true bill of indictment, we're taking you into custody. That's what should be happening. It's not happening. Because people, number one, haven't gone and searched the lawful common law grand jury. You should go look at, I think it's called countygrandjury.org. countygrandjury.org. On there you will see Supreme Court Justice Antoine Scalia pointing out that the people's last resort, when all three branches of government have become corrupted, and they have, the executive is corrupted. I'm not talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger's having a baby with his maid while married to that Democrat woman from the Kennedy family. I'm not talking about that kind of corruption. I'm talking about wholesale financial corruption of the executive office. We know the legislature's corrupt because they made retroactive law. That only happens in a fascist country. Only in a fascist country can they make laws retroactively legal or illegal. In a republic, the laws are only passed and go forward. You can never go backwards. So those 400 judges should be arrested, should go to jail, including the one sitting on the Murray trial. Because what do we know? They all took bribes. And that's what they were, bribes. Paid salary that they used to get, but when they became state Superior Court judges, that money should have cut off. Every honest judge, if there was one or two, sent that check back and refused to take it. All of them that I know about, they continued taking their state salary, plus they took their county salary. That was a felony. And not one of them went to prison. But they'll put you in jail for a little traffic speeding ticket or rolling through a sign, while they commit much worse crimes. So, as I look at this trial, I see a couple of things happening here. The most major and significant thing is, I see this young prosecutors, Miss Brazil and David Walgreen, they are proving way more than involuntary manslaughter. They are proving murder. But somebody above them, above Walgreen and Brazil, or Brazil, whatever her name is, somebody above them has said you will only go for involuntary manslaughter. And if you try to bring murder charges, we'll replace you on the prosecution team and we'll sack you. Now, I don't know that that's happened, but my guess is something like that has happened. So David Walgreen is, he's bringing forth the evidence to prove you got enough for murder. He didn't. He refused to call 911, never would call it. He finally got Alberto to call it so he could take the blame if things, got heated. And we saw that. I was in the courtroom that day where they tried to shift blame to the security guard. The security guard came up, the doctor's in charge. He just takes orders from the doctor. Now, if it was a matter of somebody breaking into the house and trying to hurt Michael, the security guard would be in charge. But it's a medical issue, it's the doctor. But is he really a doctor? We don't know that yet. There isn't evidence on the court trial that he's even a medical doctor. Yet. They may bring the evidence. But I still wonder why he had to change his name. Most doctors that I know, my brother is a retired doctor, they never change their name. Even if they get sued and have a lawsuit, they don't change their name. Something is not right with this trial. What's not right is if they went after him for murder, he would have to go to prison. By saying it's involuntary manslaughter, he doesn't have to go to prison. He'll go to the crowded jail, and because it's crowded, he'll get an ankle bracelet. He'll be out of there within a few weeks at the most. Probably within hours or a few days. He will not serve any time for killing Michael. He will not serve a year for not calling 911, for not doing this in a medical facility, for not having a nurse to back him up. For not keeping medical records to hand over at the hospital. Say, here's the medical. I gave him such and such at such an hour. I gave him such and such. I mean, he's sitting. What else he's got to do but to keep an accurate medical record? He did not do it. Instead, he's on the phone talking to his wife or his new girlfriend or the old girlfriend. This goes beyond gross negligence. In my view, this was murder. The judge, pastor knows it's murder. David Walgreen knows it's murder. I think the jury's figuring it out it's murder. But here, if they convict him of involuntary manslaughter, they can never try him for murder. The deal is done. The only way to get Conrad Murray now is the prosecutor, in my opinion, would have to drop all the charges and come back and press murder in the first or murder in the second, and then as a lesser included offense, voluntary manslaughter, which he could get 8 years. And if it's voluntary, that means he volitionally tried to get this guy killed. And to me, the evidence says he did. Doctors just don't make this many mistakes. Not one mistake, not deliberately not telling the hospital personnel what you just pumped Michael up with. This was intentional, in my view. And I think the jury should have the right to say, we set aside involuntary and we declare it to be voluntary manslaughter. At the very, very least. Which means he gets 8 years. And it means he has to go to prison. This man is dangerous. This man is very, very dangerous. Any doctor who thinks it's more important to have one hand on your cell phone while you're doing heart compressions with the other hand on the bed, not on a hard surface, but on the bed, this man is dangerous. I think the judge knows it. I think the prosecutors knows it. I think the defense team, it's all a charade. And many of you have said to me, this whole trial looks like some kind of a carefully scripted play. And you're right. It is. The whole thing is they know he's going to be found guilty. He's going to sound sad about it. And the defense is going to say, well, we did our best, but he isn't going to do any prison time. Bottom line. This is where we need de jure grand juries. And had we got some justice for Richard Fine, who, by the way, was disbarred while he was sitting in jail, that shows you how corrupt the Bar Association of California is, among many other travesties that they're guilty of. Had we got justice for Richard Fine, Michael might be alive today. I hope you watch my other videos, Zerman on Fine and Free Fine. William Wagner, with my thoughts before Monday's courtroom starts tomorrow. See you.